Okay, good morning everyone. It is our last day in Riga and today is travel home day, sadly. This weekend has gone so quickly, but we have had a fantastic time. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
I would, and the irony is today's weather is the best day.
Yeah, it's really pleasant and really warm today, but we are flying home to London where apparently when we land it's likely to be raining. So we've got all that to look forward to. We've got umbrellas in our bags if we need them when we get there, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So the plan for today is, it's currently just gone midday, is it? We don't really need to leave the hotel until about 1:30 because our flight's not till
20 past
4 or something like that, and we don't want to get to the airport too early because one thing that we know with European airports is that they often don't open the check-in until 2 hours before your flight, so we'll only be getting there to stand in a queue, which is a bit pointless at the end of the day. So what we're going to do is we've just left our bags in the hotel. We're just going to have a little wander around for a little bit, see if we can find some last minute souvenirs, maybe grab a cheeky local water if we can find a bit of time, if we have enough time left over, and then we're going to come back here, grab our suitcases and jump in a boat to the airport. But I'm a little bit excited. I don't know if Stephen wants to tell you why I'm a little bit excited about our flight today.
So Luke, with glee, told me this morning that the airplane that we're catching home is only 2 weeks old, and that basically means that it has the new BA interior, which he's excited about. He's actually travelled on that before, but I haven't previously.
Yeah.
And also because I'm a decent person, I've also allowed him to have the window seat again.
Yeah. No, so hopefully there isn't an equipment swap or anything like that. But if we do get the aircraft I think we're going to get, it's a NEO, and unusually for British Airways, when they first started deploying NEOs, they decided to remove a little cocktail table in the middle seat, which is converted when that seat is turned into a business class seat. However, on the more recent ones with the new interior, they have brought that cocktail table back, and the seats are a little bit more plush, and the whole thing just feels apparently a little bit more luxurious. So it'd be good to actually try it out as a business class passenger, because when I tried it last time I was flying back from Belfast in economy, so I didn't really quite get the full experience of that. But either way, even if it's not that aircraft, it's still nice to fly back business class. We'll also hopefully show you a bit of footage of the lounge as well. It's a contract lounge, but from the research I've done, it's one of the better ones that exists. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. But for now, Stevie, should we just have a little wander around, see what we can find to do to kill an hour and a half, and then head back to the hotel? Okay, so we didn't have time for a local water in the end. We went for a little walk had a look at some statues, had a look at a few more buildings, and
Went to the market.
went to the central market. Yeah, for those of you, okay, right, actually I can include it in this vlog because I wasn't sure whether I'd have to do it as a separate one or not, but it is aviation themed because it's where they built a load of Zeppelins, which were kind of
The hot air
bombing
balloons.
not hot air balloons, airships that look a bit like the Hindenburg, but
The ones that are in Indiana Jones.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we went to look at the central market, bumped into some friends that we met yesterday on the tour, ironically in all of the
Again.
places that you could have met them, and we're now heading back to a hotel to grab our bags and then get in a bolt to the airport. So we'll check in with you guys when we get there.
And it's only 19 degrees, but
It feels hotter,
so
yeah.
much hotter.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's lovely today.
we're just about to walk back to the hotel, grab our bags, and then make our way to the airport. Okay, so there aren't a huge amount of options to get to Riga Airport from the city centre, hence why we're getting a Bolt, which as you can see is now arriving to pick us up. There is no train or subway station at the airport, or at least not yet. Once the Rail Baltica high-speed line is built, there will be, but that's a little way off yet and not much use for us today. Right now, we have a choice between getting a bus or getting a taxi, and the bus stop was quite away from our hotel, which is a bit of a pain if you've got suitcases to carry with you. And we are well within the Old Town, so that would have been quite a walk for us. Plus, we also saw on our inbound trip that the bus to Riga looked really busy, and at a 40-minute end-to-end journey time, we didn't feel like opting for something that could potentially mean us standing up for that length of time. So, in the end, we went with the Bolt option, and just in case you're wondering, Uber isn't really a thing in Riga. The Bolt is fairly comfortable and we're happy that we're able to sit down, although our driver could perhaps have been a bit more aware of the need for personal hygiene when carrying passengers. That aside, we're now on the way, so next time we speak to you, we will hopefully be at the airport. Well, that's it folks, we've arrived at the airport. Taxi ride was interesting. He was a very confident driver, I think is what I'm going to say. I felt that we were ducking and diving from one lane to the next, fairly regularly throughout that trip.
Reasonably priced though, it was only
Yeah.
€15.
Yeah, so it took us about, what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
20 minutes, half an hour to get from the airport, so virtually no time at all. We left there just after 1:30, got here just before 2 o'clock. Check-in was really easy. We walked in, turned right, and the check-in desk was pretty much there. There wasn't a line either, and they were open at 2 o'clock. And considering our flight is until 2:20, that does mean that they...
4:20.
4:20, sorry, yes, correct. That does mean that they do open a little bit earlier than the 2 hours in advance. So that's good to know if you're ever flying here from Riga. So, yeah, painless experience even so far, would you say, Steve? Agreed?
Yeah, totally agreed.
Yeah, but more importantly now, we're all checked in, so we're going to head through security and try and track down the lounge that we are going to be staying in for the next hour or so until our flight's ready to board. Okay, so Riga Airport is fairly typical for a mid-sized European city. In general, most people passing through here are either starting or ending their journey. This is definitely not like the likes of Heathrow, where we're heading to this afternoon, where people will often pass through it as a connection point from one flight to another. Now, we do have priority security today with our ticket, but as you can see, it's not hugely busy, so it hasn't made a massive difference to how long it's taken us to get through. Just the other side of security is your usual duty-free area, and we're not going to show you a huge amount of that because we do it quite a lot, but it is your fairly typical duty-free shop where merchandise might be tax-free, but the prices don't necessarily seem that much lower than what you'd normally expect to spend on the high street. Now, the airport does also have some fairly good wayfinding maps too, just in case you're unfamiliar with the layout and need a bit of help plotting directions to where you need to be. And once you're past the initial duty-free gauntlet, you come to the main departure lounge. And to me, this feels a little bit enclosed. If you compare it to the main departure lounges at some of the terminals at Heathrow or to the two at Gatwick, for example, the low ceilings just make it feel a little bit claustrophobic. Plus, the narrow corridors without much seating don't really make it feel like this is somewhere that will be easy to relax if you don't have access to one of the premium lounges. That said, there are a good range of shops and retail outlets that line either side of the walkway, as well as plenty of live departure screens to help you keep an eye on your flight and know what gate you need to head to when it's time to board. It doesn't take too long though to find the Primeclass Lounge, which is who British Airways have partnered with for their premium customers flying from Riga. As you can see, they are not the only airline to do so. There are multiple others, including some Star Alliance members too, along with a number of credit card loyalty schemes as well. The lounge is just a short walk up some stairs, although accessible lifts are available too if you need to use one of them. So all in all, with a bit of help from the wayfinding, it's actually really easy to find. Now, me being an av geek, the first thing that I've spotted is the fairly impressive selection of models that has pride of display at the entrance to this lounge. It doesn't quite match my collection at home, but it's something that definitely caught our attention on the way in. So on entrance to the lounge, there are two parts. Firstly, an area behind the reception, which has some round tables with chairs and a television, although that doesn't appear to be showing anything at the moment. The main lounge is a bit more long and thin, and this is where you'll find most of the seating and the complimentary refreshments. It's got a laminate floor rather than a carpet, but ironically, the seating in this section looks more comfortable than in the TV lounge area. At the moment, it doesn't seem too busy either, and it does look like it would cope quite well if there was a sudden influx of people all wanting to come in at the same time. Plus, there are plenty of departure screens too, so you can keep an eye out for that all-important gate call when that comes. One thing that is sticking out though is that charging points do seem to be very sparse here, so that could be a bit of a challenge if you have things that you want to charge up before your flight. Food-wise, there is a small and clearly low-stock selection of hot food, which we will discuss with you in a minute. There's not as much here as you'd find in a BA-run lounge, but that's fairly typical for a contract lounge. At least the soup bowl is a bit more full, although we're not sure what soup it is. There is also a selection of fresh fruit, and unusually, considering it's currently mid-afternoon, you could also get some breakfast cereals. If that doesn't take your fancy though, there are some biscuits and some cakes, which we assume are if you're just looking for something light to have alongside a tea or a coffee. Speaking of which, there is a hot drink station where you can get yourself a coffee or pour yourself some hot water to brew one of the range of tea bags that are on offer here. Alongside that, there is some fresh juice, and finally there is one final salad station, which again looks like it could do with a bit of a restock. There are some cold cuts, various salad options, and a collection of salad dressings which you can drizzle on top. One thing that we do like is that there are some ice creams on offer too, so we might grab one of those later if we feel peckish enough. And moving on to the most important things, there is a fully stocked self-service bar with an ice bucket, plenty of glasses, a range of spirits, and some self-pour beer pumps. They even have an instruction sheet to help you make the perfect pour. They also have a selection of cold drinks, which we didn't manage to capture on footage for some reason, but they are there. And lastly, there is a wine area with some red wines, chilled white wines, chilled sparkling wines, and chilled vodka. Not sure why that's been pulled out from the other spirits, but hey. One of the best features of this lounge though are the floor to ceiling windows, which give some fairly stunning apron views. We've managed to bag ourselves a seat right next to that, so we're going to settle in and give you some of our thoughts. Right, what have you unearthed for yourself?
Carver.
Yep.
Ice cream.
And that's a really weird looking ice cream.
It is really weird.
It's like in a bucket rather than a cone.
And also, it looks nothing like the photo.
Photo itself. Okay, how's it taste though? Good? You look surprised by something.
Got chunks of chocolate in it.
Oh, has it?
There's 3 different flavours up there.
So I'm going to have to try and sample all 3. There's a challenge. We're here for what, another hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes maybe? We'll see. Okay, so we've been in the lounge for about an hour now, which shows to you?
Yeah, about that.
Yep, we've just seen our flight land, or our aircraft land, as a slave, taking us back to London, and hopefully we'll be getting on board it very soon. But just wanted to give you guys a bit of an overview about what we thought of the lounge. So I'm going to throw straight over to Steve because I love doing things like that, and let him know what his thoughts are.
Pretty basic, I would say. The bar is good. We actually enjoyed that. It's actually got quite a selection of alcohol. It's also got a Jaeger station as well, which I kind of found quite ironic. And then there's also some like standard beers as well that you can get from the pump. And then there's also a chill station as well for carvers and wines, but no champagne. In terms of soft drinks, they've got some fridges for that. The food selection is pretty poor. They've got like 4 main hot dishes. So you've got like a pasta dish, a mixed vegetable dish, some meatballs, and then soup. Obviously there's breads and there's some sweet pastries, but that's kind of really it.
It's kind of a little salad bar type thing as well, but it's not really like a salad bar. It's I don't know. It's very low key, I think is the way I describe it.
And it's weird though because there's lots of space in here. Like there's lots of tables. The actual views of the runway, as you can see behind, are pretty decent. They've obviously got charging ports for your phones and electronic devices and stuff. I just assumed that they would have more options available from a food perspective, but again, I kind of say the same thing. If it wasn't for the fact that it was complimentary, I probably wouldn't pay to come in here. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I think fairly similar to be fair. Like Stephen had his ice cream earlier, I was going to try the ice cream. I just don't, for whatever reason, don't feel hungry, and I'm not going to pick up an ice cream and start eating it and then not finish it and then have it melt all over the table because that would just be embarrassing. But I think the decor's nice. It's not luxurious, but it's clean, it's simple, it's tidy.
I would say it's comfortable in here as well.
Comfortable is a good way of putting it. And the view's good as well. You know, we have been in some lounges before where you don't really get any outdoor views at all, let alone one of the runways. So I think that's a plus as well. And although it's busy, it doesn't feel cramped, claustrophobic. No. It doesn't feel overcrowded. It doesn't feel like, you know, the one I'm thinking of specifically at the moment is the I can't remember the name of the lounge in Orlando, where they just seem to keep letting people in.
Plaza Premium Lounge.
Yeah, they keep
been there quite a few times the past couple of months.
But they seem to keep letting people in even though it's full, and then people are just standing there because there are no seats left. So, you know, propping themselves up on the wall or sitting cross-legged on the floor, and that's not really a lounge experience for me. So this one definitely doesn't meet those low standards, but I wouldn't say it's up amongst the gods either.
And also as well, the one other comparison I would make, it's not hot.
It's not hot, yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's a hot airport.
It's comfortable temperature.
Which is cool, because there's like some airports you go to and you just bacon in them, and I think I said in my last film, especially with the Plaza Premium Lounge in Orlando, it's quite warm in there. I don't know if it's something to do with the windows or the fact that they don't put the aircon on, or a mixture of both, but this one's quite comfortable.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Anyway, we should probably finish off our drinks, and that's very important because at this particular airport, the lounge is in the Schengen area, our flight is in the non-Schengen area, and we still need to get through passport control yet before we get to the gate. And if there's a long queue there, we don't want to be getting stressed or panicked about missing our flight. So we're going to wrap the lounge side of this vlog up now. I'm going to finish my drink, and then we're going to head down to passport control and hopefully get to the gate very soon. And actually, just one very quick postscript as well. I just went to take a comfort break before we decided to leave the lounge because I thought it'd be easier to do that than try and be the first person on a plane to try and use the toilet or to use the toilets at the gate. And I have to say, there's literally one cubicle and one urinal for everyone, or every male person I should say, in this lounge at the moment. It's not that busy right now. it's probably not that quiet either, but I can imagine at peak times when it's really busy, that would not be adequate for the number of people using this lounge. So that's probably something that they need to think about for the future, is making sure there's enough rest facilities for people to use before they head down to their flight.
Right, so time is ticking on, which means that we can only take a brief glimpse as we pass the model collection for one final time and head towards the gate. Now, the non-Schengen area at Riga Airport is probably about the furthest point that you can reach from the main body of the terminal building. And as we mentioned, we still have to clear passport control yet. So we're going to get a bit of a move on and we'll catch up with you again once we are on board the flight. So it is quite a walk to the non-Schengen area. It's taken us about 10 minutes, but we have now arrived at passport control. And whilst there's a bit of a queue, we have definitely seen much worse than this. And it's really pleasing to see that there are multiple desks which are displaying the all passports sign, rather than a lean towards most desks being European passports only. That definitely isn't always the case at some of the European airports that we've been through recently, and thankfully this looks like it's going to be quite straightforward today. So gate C14 doesn't have a jet bridge, meaning that we're boarding by stairs today. And normally I'd say that's an inferior experience, particularly if the weather isn't great. But what I am loving today is that we are getting to see this pretty much brand new jet close up in all its glory. And that's not a view that you would get to see if you were boarding via a jet bridge. Just look at that view right there. So there are a few changes on the new interior which are designed to make it feel more modern and luxurious. Firstly, the entrance area flooring is a wood laminate effect with a doormat rather than the old charcoal lino. Inside, the seat size and pitch is the same as the older interior, but there is a more intricate stitching to them, and the flash of red relief around the headrest does seem to add a touch of class. And of course, it's good to see the cocktail table back in the middle seat, which is something that was dropped on the first NEO deliveries. We found our seats for the flight though, seats 2A and 2C, and from this vantage point, I've noticed that the BA ribbon on the bulkhead is slightly different to the older short-haul aircraft. If you know what that difference is, feel free to leave a comment.
Okay, so we're all on board, and we got to the gate and they'd already started boarding early, which we thought was going to be quite dramatic. However, we were still able to get into the priority queue. She asked us what group we were. We said we're group 1 because we're gold members, and she let us on in front of everyone else, which is great. And then we kind of got interrupted a little bit on the way to the plane by trying to take selfies and people trying to photobomb our selfies. We might throw one of those up there, you can have a look at it. But we are now on board and comfortable and ready to go.
And we literally have no idea who that woman was, but whoever she is, we hope she has as good a flight as we're hoping to have. As you can see though, the stairs are being retracted, so it's probably about time to push back now and head to the runway ready to get up into the skies. Right, so now that we're up in the air, let's tell you a bit more about the service that we can expect today. Firstly, if you're flying in Club Europe, which is BA's short-haul business product, all on-board catering is complimentary, including drinks, snacks and a meal. On this particular flight, the crew seem really eager to please. We're just a few minutes past takeoff and they're already preparing the first drink service. I've opted for a champagne, Stephen has gone for a Sauvignon Blanc, and we've both got a really tasty rosemary nut mix on the side too. And we both really like this mix, but we're yet to find it anywhere other than on a British Airways flight. So if anyone knows where we can buy it, please feel free to put something in the comments. Now, we've experienced Club Europe on more than one occasion over the past few years, and one thing that can be hit and miss is whether you get given a menu or not. Today, we've clearly hit some good karma as we've been given one to have a look at. We're not going to talk it through in full because that could take a while, but you can pause and read it in more detail if you want to. In essence, unless you've pre-selected a meal for dietary requirements, your starter and your cheese/dessert course are fixed. You do have a choice of main meal though on a first come, first served basis. The menu also details all the different drinks that you can have, including soft drinks, beers, wines, spirits and hot drinks. Now, we both decided to go for the lamb today, which has just arrived. Just one thing I would say though is that although it's described as a multi-course meal, it does all come together at the same time. So that does mean that if you opt to eat your salad starter first, your main does start to cool down. But the inner foodie in me is getting itchy to experience this, so we should probably tuck in and see what it's like. I'm actually really looking forward to this. So I do like a potato dough from rice, and that's what comes with this lamb. But what I've already noticed is the lamb looks really, that lamb looks really tender. So I'm going to try a bit of that first. That is really good. And like for airplane food, it can often be a little bit dry, a little bit tough and chewy. That is absolutely delicious. I'm going to try the dough from rice as well. I want to see what that tastes like. That's equally as tasty. It's got a really kind of strong rosemary flavour to it, and I think it's what's in the menu. But also the cheese on top is quite nice too. And the potatoes are really buttery soft, and normally with gratins, if you're not careful, they can become a little bit tough and chewy and have a bit of bite to them. So that sounds really good to me. I'm going to mix and match this a little bit, and then I'm going to tuck in and enjoy my food. I just want to try some of this side salad quickly, because it looks like kind of like a red pepper hummus with some stuff on top of it. Equally as delicious, if not slightly salty. They're very nice. And let me just jump ahead to the dessert as well. And I'm actually going to eat my food in order after that, just so you guys get a feel for what it tastes like. This looks like it's a kind of a passion fruit and panna cotta type thing. Also very good. If you're into porn style martinis, you'll definitely like that. It has that kind of flavour about it. So I'm going to look forward to eating that shortly. But for now, I'm going to go back to eating the rest of my savoury food first, and then on to the sweet stuff afterwards.
So I've already tucked into mine, and I have to admit it's very, very delicious. And I agree with what Luke said. The lamb is really, really tender. It literally just pulls away. It's like it reminds me of pulled pork. It's got that kind of texture to it, but they are missing a trick. And I think Amy would agree to me. If they gave you a little bit of mint sauce, it would elevate the whole thing. But for plain food, it is delicious. And I also agree with what Luke just said as well. The potato dauphinoise is delicious. I love my cheese, so yummy. And the thing I like about it as well is the potatoes aren't al dente. They've got no crunch to them at all. It's like cutting into butter. It's really smooth. It's not smushy. It's just right. So I think they've done very well on this. And Luke didn't actually comment but we also have some vegetation, and the carrots are also delicious. Again, just the right consistency. We also have some crackers.
Stephen, let's cracker.
And some cheese.
Yeah, delicious.
I'm going, actually, I will comment on the dessert. Shouldn't be eating it with a fork. Look at that. Right, I'm not one for desserts, as I always say, but the panna cotta is really light, very airy, and the mango is like really tart. Passion fruit, rather. Passion fruit is very tart as well. And for those chocolate lovers, there's a little bit of chocolate there, so I'm going to save that for later. Now I'm going to go back to my food and eat it before it gets cold.
Anyway, now that food is out of the way, let's tell you a bit more about what you can expect on board. And I mentioned earlier that food and drink are complimentary, and in terms of drinks, that is limitless, subject of course to stock on board. The crew on this particular flight are being very proactive with keeping everyone topped up, but aside from that, our past experience is that if you want another drink, just ask someone. So British Airways do offer a Wi-Fi service on most of their flights, but it's only free in limited circumstances. Basically, you have to be a BA Club member and you can really only get messaging services for free. If you want to stream or do something more elaborate, you have to pay, even if you are a premium passenger. The exception being first class passengers on a long haul flight. But just to frustrate us a little bit on this flight, there is no Wi-Fi at all, which considering it's a brand new aircraft was a bit perplexing. When I asked the crew, they were a bit unsure as to why that might have been. Thankfully, Stephen has pre-downloaded the latest content from one of our favourite vloggers to keep us entertained. The last thing I'd mention is the seat pitch, and I've said on some of our previous vlogs that BA short haul business class rows are effectively an economy row with the middle seat blocked out. And having that extra space in the middle has made me feel a bit like I can spread my legs out a bit more and therefore feel a little bit more comfortable. And to be fair, at around 6 foot tall, this still doesn't feel too bad for me. But casting my mind back to our Air Baltic flight on the way out here, where the seat pitch was 2 inches more, in economy class, I now feel a bit more open-minded about reconsidering my opinion on this. Either way, we're approaching the end of our flight today and are starting our descent process now to Heathrow. Overall, the crew have been amazing and the food has been great, but there are one or two holes in the hard product that perhaps fell a bit short of what we'd expect from the British flag carrier. We have, however, just realised that we've made a bit of a schoolboy error. Anyone that flies regularly knows that the Heathrow approach is best viewed from the right-hand side of the plane. The majority of landings are from the east, and as you descend, you see some spectacular views of the London city skyline if you are on the correct side of the aircraft. The westerly approach is not as good, but you're not losing anything by choosing the wrong side of the plane from that side. For whatever reason though, we selected seats on the left for this flight, which means that we've now missed out on those city sights. Nevertheless, we both grew up in South London before we emigrated to Sussex, so I'm sure there will still be some good views for us to look at, even if the expected rain clouds are now starting to close in. Enough of that though, it's 10 minutes to landing, so let's get ourselves onto the ground.
and we're off. So yeah, we're about 15 minutes late on stand, which isn't too bad, I suppose, considering some of the delays we've had at Heathrow before. But we do have to make sure that we get on our coach, our Oxford Airline coach, back to Gatwick at 6:20, otherwise it's a 2-hour wait to the next one. So that gives us around about 50 minutes to clear passport control, grab our bags and get on our way. But actually I think flight-wise, what do you think, Steve?
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
A bit bumpy on the way back.
Yeah.
No Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi, that's a bit of a bummer, but actually, generally speaking, the flight itself wasn't too bad. And we are now here at Heathrow, making our way to get our bags and the baggage reclaim.
But we'll give a full debrief when we're on the other side.
Indeed.
Right, so we've arrived at the passport control area of Heathrow Airport, and in case you've not realised, we're a little bit late from our scheduled arrival time. That has reduced the transit time that we had planned to get our coach back to Sussex, but we're not in panic mode just yet, as we still have just under an hour for that. Now, we've heard some horror stories about wait times to clear immigration at Heathrow in the past, but have never personally experienced that, and today seems just as under control as we've always found it to be. In no time at all, we're through and on our way to get our bags. Now, there are some helpful screens at the end of security to tell you what belt your bags are arriving on, and we're curious to know whether the priority tags will work today. Yes, we still have a bit of time until the coach departs, but we are also aware it's a 2-hour gap until the next one if we end up missing it. To be fair, it hasn't been too long and Stephen's bag has just arrived, but the question is, did the priority tags work on this occasion?
Okay, so just to point out, there are literally only a handful of people left. Just a handful, and our bags still haven't arrived. Now, it's no major issue because our coach home isn't for another half an hour yet, but so much for priority luggage tags. This is something that BA get consistently wrong. They put priority tags on, your bags come out last. They don't put priority tags on, your bags still come out last. So it's like, you know, if you're going to promise something, deliver on it. If you're not going to be able to deliver on it, don't promise it. Anyway, Steve's bag's just come off, but no sign of mine yet.
Okay, to be fair, the wait really wasn't that bad, and it's a minor frustration, but still a frustration nonetheless. If you're in a hurry to get somewhere, then the resilience of the priority tag system could be a make or break situation for you. On the other hand, despite our bags coming out last, it's still been a fairly quick process, and we are grateful that we still have time to spare before getting our coach. So we're going to stop to get a quick refreshment and then head towards the bus stop.
Welcome back, everyone. We have arrived at Heathrow Airport, and despite being 10-15 minutes late landing, I should say, we were off the plane, through passport control, had our bags in our hands, and more importantly, these in our hands within 20 minutes. So actually, I have to say, that's probably not too bad. And it's really good timing because our coach back to Gatwick Airport is in about 20 minutes. If we'd been much longer, I'd have started to get a little bit anxious about whether we were going to make that coach or not, and then it would have been a 2-hour wait to the next one. But I have to say, all in all, not too bad an experience at Heathrow today.
No, not at all. And for anyone that has actually followed our vlogs, there was that one episode where we were baggage only?
Hand baggage only, yeah.
And we literally ran off the plane, ran through.
Yes, that was Glasgow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we arrived about 10 minutes before the bus was supposed to leave. And yeah, we literally hot-heeled it through the entire terminal building. Thankfully, we didn't have any bags to collect on that particular occasion, but otherwise, we'd have missed that bus and it would have been 2 hours to the next one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I have to admit, I'm feeling really tired now, like really, really tired.
Yeah. So I think flight-wise, I have to say, the crew were probably, I mean, BA crew are normally quite good anyway, but the crew today, I think, were one of the better ones.
Extra attentive.
They were very attentive, like they were constantly walking up and down saying, any more drinks, anything else we can get you? And I have to say, I think that's a really good trait of a good crew. So I am quite impressed with the service we had today.
I'd give it an 8 out of 10 personally, simply because there was no Wi-Fi, there was no free Starlink Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I'm going to say that was the only down point for me, is that on a 2.5 hour flight or 2 hour 50-minute flight, having Wi-Fi is a real benefit. And for those of you that watched our Tenerife vlog a few months back, I did mention at the time that I would be reluctant to pay for onboard Wi-Fi again. I was going to give it another go today because we had a flight that was mostly over land, but there was no Wi-Fi to take advantage of in the slightest, let alone pay for it. So that's a little bit of a downside, I think, on this flight, but service was good, food was good,
Food was delicious.
Not huge amounts to complain about really, but either way, we're going to have some coffee. We're going to just chill out for a little while and then make our way to the bus stop and then get the coach back to Gatwick so that we can get home to our house. So we've just left the terminal building and are about to head to the bus stops, and we just wanted to show you how simple it is to find them. You literally just walk out of the terminal and straight to the bus station. That is all there is to it. And for us, once we're in the bus station area, there is no distance at all to find the stop for the airline coach back to Gatwick. So BA don't fly direct from Riga to Gatwick, which is a bit of a bummer for us given that we live just a few miles from Gatwick Airport. But the coach saves us a fortune in airport parking costs and fuel, and as you can see, it's no effort to find the stop whatsoever. Our coach has just arrived though, so we're going to jump on board and get comfortable. And whilst there might still be a few rain showers around on our journey, we're going to try and do our best to enjoy the views.
Okay, so we're back at Gatwick. The plan was that we were going to get a bus home from here, but it's been a really long day. We're both really tired, we're both flagging a little bit, and actually we've taken a bus from Heathrow to Gatwick, or a coach from Heathrow to Gatwick, so we've done a bit for sustainable transport, and we have decided to wench out now and get a taxi for the last leg home, only because we've both got work tomorrow. Stephen needs to be up at 5 AM to get into the city for his job, and I need to be up not far after that. So the time is now what, sorry?
It's 7:15.
It's 7:15, so if we've got the bus home, bless you. If we've got the bus home, it'd be about 8:15, and that wouldn't leave us much time to relax before having to go to bed. So we're going to get a taxi from this point and hopefully be home very soon. Hey everyone, we are back home as you can see after our fun weekend in Riga, and we have someone desperate to try and guest star on the vlog, but she's decided to stay on the floor for a minute. But apologies if you can hear her in the background. I think she's missed us over the last couple of days. But anyway, quick thoughts on Riga. So starting off with the flight out, what do you think, Steve?
I was actually really impressed with Air Baltic, and given that it wasn't the airline that we thought we were booking, I thought I was booking anyway, Yeah, I was quite happy with the actual service on board, the comfort of the plane, and also the Wi-Fi as well. So
I actually have to say, for me, that was a big plus, the fact that there was free Wi-Fi and it wasn't restricted to messaging only, basically. So you could stream stuff if you wanted to, you can upload files, you can download files, do whatever you want. Even in economy, there was no charge for it whatsoever, and I think that was definitely a plus for Air Baltic. And actually, there she is. I actually quite liked the 2x3 seating layout as well, because that means if you're traveling in a couple, you can just sit in a kind of pair of seats rather than having to worry about having someone next to you or in the middle of you or wherever they might be.
Yeah, and then Riga wasn't particularly a destination that we'd ever wanted to visit, but it was, as I said, it was a kind of
Anyway.
it was on the map, and I'm kind of glad we actually went there because it was a pleasant surprise. Lots of history there. You know, I was a bit ignorant by the fact that it was occupied so many times by various different people, be it the Germans, the Swedish, the Russians, the Germans again, and then the Russians again. So yeah, really, really interesting. Would definitely recommend it. And yeah,
I think what I'd say about Riga, I think we said it a couple of times in the vlogs, didn't we? I fully expected it to be quite Soviet, I suppose, in nature. And don't get me wrong, there were moments when we were outside of a city centre in the suburbs where it was very apparent that the buildings were all very kind of Soviet era, tower block, residential development type style places. But in the city centre, there were so many like unique buildings which had such character that we really didn't expect to see. Unlike this one, who is all over Stephen right now, we really didn't expect to see that at all. And I would definitely say, if you're looking for somewhere to go, Riga should definitely be on your bucket list, especially if you go just outside of the city and cross the border into Lithuania and you find the Hill of Crosses, because that definitely for me was a highlight of the trip and something I would definitely recommend that other people do as well.
And it was clearly popular with stag and hen parties as well.
That was fairly obvious. So there's quite a few European cities that are popular with stag and hens these days, aren't there? But I don't think that took away from the character of the actual city itself, and we were still able to enjoy ourselves, even though there was lots of those shenanigans going on around us. And then I guess like flight home today, the only downside I think I would mention was the fact that there was no Wi-Fi at all on this flight, not even Wi-Fi to buy. I don't know if that's because it's a brand new plane and we haven't kitted it out yet, or because there was a fault with it, or whatever reason it might be. I think that would have made the flight a bit more, or it'd have passed the time a little bit better if we'd had some kind of Wi-Fi. That said, the food was good, the drinks were good, it was great to go on the new interior, and above all, the cabin crew were excellent.
Yeah, they were great. But I suppose, yes, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 simply because of the no Wi-Fi. The no Wi-Fi,
yeah, I think so. But yeah, we're home now anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed our little series on Riga. Somebody's clearly missed us because she will not leave us alone. We've been trying to do this video for a little while now, but she just doesn't want to go away. So we've decided that she can special guest star in it if she wants to. So apologies if that distracts you from what we're trying to say. However, we have had a fantastic time. We have another trip planned in a few weeks' time. And this time we're going to go with some friends and we're going away for a little bit longer. And we are heading to another new location for us, which is Antalya.
Antalya, yeah. So our dear friend Amy, who you may have seen in previous vlogs, will be guest starring again. Yeah. And our friend Kirsty, who we talk about quite frequently, is also going to be with us for this particular trip. She's we're going away for Amy and Kirsty's belated 40th birthdays. Yeah. Kirsty's husband and the kids will be there, but I doubt that they will show on the vlog.
No, I don't think they will do. But Kirsty might well pop up on our vlog series. But I think we need to give this one some attention because she's clearly not liking the fact that we're giving you guys attention at the moment, and she's trying to steal the show. So we hope you've enjoyed what you've had to see. Don't forget, if you like what we put out there, to put a good thumbs up on the video, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, turn on notifications so that you know that when we put new content out. We really do love to hear everyone's thoughts. We do respond to every comment that we get, and if you want to send us a DM as well, you can do that. We have a profile on Instagram and TikTok as well, and we are very active on those channels talking to people. So hope you like what you've had to see, hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll catch you again very soon on our next vlog.